Well, good afternoon, good morning. For me, it's definitely good morning. I'm going to tell you in maybe few words what have we done in Bosnia and Herzegovina and what have we done in Republic of Srpska in the last decade or so. Since the first steps that we made in 2002. Until then, we had all the lacks of the past system, and the whole civil society and the whole that new European concept for us it was pretty new. So we started in 2002, very small steps, but then we decided it's time that we have a law about administration service in the Republic of Srpska. It was a start. That law has many flaws, so we see it. But in 2006, we started in Sigma principles to work with that. But of course, it's hard, as you know, but it's even harder in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I have to remind you that we have four levels of governance. So one level has one rules, the other one another one, and that's the way we work. In this point, we are kind of closing and catching up to each other, but it's really different kind of working, maybe comparing to other countries. We have very different lives, let's say like that. Now, in this moment, all levels in Bosnia and Herzegovina has their own laws and all that frameworks for civil society, but there are differences actually. And of course, we have local self-governments. They also have their own rules. And it's a huge task for us to make it equal because it's completely different system it's two different systems in two entities, politically. So it's really a challenge, but we are going that way. In this point, Republic of Srpska has all the laws since 2006 that are telling how we employ civil service, and we have agency that do hiring people for us. Ministries don't do job interviews and everything. The agency does that job. So that was a huge improvement because we have the agency to choose a civil servant for us. For us, that was a very huge step, but it's working now. And now, after a few years, no one has a problem with it. But it took time. So we are trying to make a very independent civil servants. I mean, we want to choose them by their qualification, really. And it's working in this point. We are, now, of course, part of PAR strategy, and we are doing the things that we have to, that we are obliged to do. But in this point, we are doing we are trying to connect all the parts of Bosnia and Herzegovina together in a common base. For example, Serbia a month ago, I think, had that huge project that basically forbid the papers for everybody. They do all the checkings electronically. We start that thing 2010. In 2012, we made the basis and it's working. Now in the Republic of Srpska, also in Federation, you can get any kind of birth certificate and everything. If you are born in one municipality, you can go to other and you can get your birth certificates and everything. But we have the problem now in this point, that's why we stopped, because we have to find a solution how to connect those bases between one and second entity, because we don't have, when you can have the birth certificates from Republic of Srpska, for example, but you cannot have it in Republic of Srpska if you are born in Federation. So that's something that we are now challenging with, and that's why we are not able to connect our other services. We cannot share it and make it more public. So we are now struggling with that, and also we are doing a little reform of local self-governments, because we are trying to make them also more professional, because they're, in few years before, they also left it aside. So now we're dealing with them, trying to make them also professional, as we did with our civil servant. But it's also a challenge. In this point, we will have a few months from now, I hope, new law that will definitely change the way that you also employ the people to municipalities. That is going to be a huge improvement. So we are doing a lot of those things now, but also we have to remember that Bosnia and Herzegovina has two entities, two constitution, two political systems between entities, and one rule is not something that we can do so easily. We have to do those rules. We always have to adapt. That is our problem in this point. But of course, we are doing it, and we are closely communicating with Sigma, because that is something that we also need. And yesterday, someone nicely said, I think lady from ESPA, that all changes has to start in mind of civil servant. And that is the key issue for us also, because we have a pretty good laws, we have a pretty good principles. We want to make it more efficient than we have it now. But sometimes it's very hard, because the perception of the public when they speak about civil service is very, well, not friendly, let's say. So they see them as someone who is guilty for everything. It's not working. So even when you do the things quite well, when you have those first steps, let's say that way, the public just doesn't see it. So that is the key problem. And also we had sometimes also, when you have someone who is employed in civil servant, somewhere in the middle he just lost his interest about his work. So you have to struggle with with that also. So that is something that we did. Those are first steps, and of course we have to keep walking, of course. Thank you very much.